Okay, I think we finally got a match, which is good. I think I might just let this match play. Just try and get the matches done with the connectivity issues. Thomas is connected to me. My request didn't seem to work, but his request back seemed to be okay. So here we go, round 6, as I said again, of the iOS tournament. And on the play, no creatures. I had this with Covert Go Blue, but the man is good. I've got some cancels, so I got return creatures. So for now, I'll keep it and just hope that I get some decent draw. He's got red, so this could be quite fast. I've got Whirler Rogue, so I know I have to be patient. I can get Whirler Rogue out in due course. You could be doing some significant damage before then, of course. We'll wait and see. Now I've been waiting to see or face a ramp deck. I haven't come across one as yet. So this could be all sorts of fun if it has moss. We'll see. So I'm assuming it's just going to be straightforward ramp. Nothing coming out now. Nothing for ramping. From this point in time, I should have cancels up. So I think, yeah, I want to get power in the board. He's got red, so he might just have easy stuff to kill if that becomes an issue. I've got the Whirler Rogue, which hopefully I can get in time with the right mana. I think I need another blue looking at it, so it would be useful getting the Whirler Rogue out because at least I'd have some presence on the board, and it'll be difficult unless he's got Mass Wipe, which obviously Radiant Flames and Resounding, well, not Resounding Thunder in this. Yeah, here it comes, Radiant Flames, no surprise there. Just get rid of the creature, that's okay. Yeah, this could be quite tough. I'm hoping that I can catch at least one win here. The advantage I should have if he gets to anything that's pretty nasty is if I can have these counters up. I've only got one up currently because of the mana, but if I can have the counters up, this might give me a chance to actually get somewhere in terms of before he goes nuclear with his ramping. So we'll stop that, of course. So that's just too much power coming out of the board. Of course, I could return that, but it's just better to cancel it now. It's just I don't have to worry. I can get some damage going down. I don't have to worry about. I wish I could get another blue source at the minute because then I've obviously got a second. I've drawn a second Whirler Rogue, so I think if I can get my second blue source, then I might have better chances with this match. The longer I go without a blue source, the longer he's got a chance to get something. Yeah, so he starts ramping now. This is no ideal. This just really comes down to the mana. I'll probably make a sideboard change of this. If he brings some big stuff out, then that becomes an issue for me, obviously. So he must see. He's obviously knowing what type of deck I'm playing, but he must see maybe he's worked out that I'm missing a blue source with what I have in my hand. So you'll also be thinking I've got counters, which of course I do, but I need that second source. I've got the ability to return anything that's going to come out, but I'm obviously worried about Guy's Revenge, things like that, which are obviously uncounterable, and that amount of mana. I'm not getting enough creatures on the board. And now, Gideon. I don't think I can afford to bring Gideon out now, sadly. I'm just going to send, and in fact, I can get some power on the board by doing an awaken here, so I will awaken. So I'm turning that, and I'll awaken I'll awaken the Foundry actually, because it's neutral mana, and then I've got a return coming whether he decides to block this. But what I desperately need is that my second blue source. It's not usual for this deck to go so long without having a second blue source, but of course this is just what happens with a matchup. And he's getting very, very close to bringing out something that is going to be a major issue. He's coming back with this Auunj Reef. I know that ramps up. I've got the Royal Spout, so that becomes less of an issue. Give me my blue source. It's just not happening, folks. Yeah, I need to buy myself time to get this source. I'll pay, return this again, and swing. At least I'm doing some damage. Whether he decides to block this time, I don't know. I really need to get another source of mana. Even if I get, no, with the Guardian of Tanzim is also double blue. So my counter's double blue, the Whirler Rogues are double blue, everything is double blue. I really did, potentially I should have maybe had Gideon out. Maybe I'm making a mistake, but not, right now, okay, now we're in business. So, what I want to do, I think, I'll bring the Whirler Rogue out because I can start making stuff unblockable. Let me just check. I think this has got trample, this thing. Yes, it does. Trample and landfall, so that's not ideal. But at least this gives me a chance to do enough damage to him. But then if I get Gideon out, that's really what I need to be doing for the next turn. But it's just nice to have some protection up from the Whirler Rogue. I can also cast out the other Whirler Rogues in due course. So I don't know. It's just too tricky to call at this stage. I think if he gets a guy's revenge, you can get. If he's ramping up to Ulamog, that's going to be very difficult. 5, 7, 8. He's two lands away from Ulamog if that's what he's playing. But he's not playing any fetch for Ulamog. But he has a 7/7 trampler, so that starts hurting quite a bit. If you keep swinging with that, I've got ways of returning it. And here comes the Green Warden Marasa, so he's going to be able to return something from his graveyard. What does he bring back? Maybe just some protection. Oh, it's Radiant Flames, of course, so he uses Radiant Flames to wipe the board, which is fair enough. You can't do it this turn, of course, so I need to try and do as much damage as I can. I've got a gamble with, I can worry about rebuilding, obviously, for Radiant Flames. So what I think I will do is, yeah, see, if he blows, Radiant Flames is going to leave his 2 creatures up. So getting in, I just really am struggling as to what the right play is here. I can bring Gideon out, but Gideon just ends up dying to the fact that he will wipe away this board, and I don't have creatures. I could bring the Guardian out to tap. That's probably the best, and I'm not sure. This Guardian of Tazim may well live, which would be handy. So this is what we'll play. We'll play the Guardian of Tazim. I will obviously tap, and of course there's the good thing about it, because it's blue, this 7/7 doesn't untap next turn. That's the one with trample, so that's a real danger. So that's locked up for another turn, and I will, yeah, I may as well swing with everything because he's going to be blowing stuff away. So I'll just swing with the team. I could have done with having the... That's something I need to watch with playing with the mana, because by cancelling what is going to be... the good thing is I just hope my 4/5 survives, in which case, how much power can you put into it? Here it comes. Do your worst. Ah, brilliant. 4/3 lives. Okay, so now he gets his health back, which is obviously far from ideal. This could be the time, I think, does it? No. Getting, you can see what the issue is here. I mean, obviously, this renewal is like well timed. He swings for 5, which is fine. Why wouldn't he? That 13/11, obviously with trample. What I'd really like now is a return. A royal spout would be perfect timing. 5/2, there's no point. I'll let that 5 go through, of course. Yeah, so looks as it'll be a tough match. If I win this one, that would be useful. Well, again, there's another blue, so I can tap down for another 2 turns this 13/13. So that does me a lot of favours. This is time for Gideon now, I think, and you can see the cancel stop there, so that's wonderful news as well. I'll just put the knight there for blocking purposes, just lets me swing. With the 4/5. I'm just really lucky that I've locked down the 13/13, because obviously that would be all as much game when that becomes live. So he needs to do something now, because I'll turn stop. Oh, that was a misplay. I should have blocked that bloody thing. Never mind. But I can stop this one. I can use the Whirler Rogue to make the 2/2 and the 4/5's in the air. Oh, he's killing Gideon, which is fine. Oh no, I can block it, mind you. Now, do I block it? But then I don't have the 2/2, and I want to do 6 damage. So no, I need to let Gideon die. He might think that's a bit strange, but he might realise when I get the Whirler Rogue out as to why. So this should be my match. What can he do? No, he doesn't have anything to survive from this. So this will be my match, given that I can make this unblockable. That goes through unblockable. 7. What I'll do, I'll tie that down again just in case, but I think this is already game. Wow. That was, I think, fortunate. And I'm happy, as I said, I wanted to get at least one of the games won from the points point of view. So there we are. That's now sideboard. I have a real decision to make on sideboard, because with the big stuff coming out, I think I really need to use a sideboard that has more containing spells. But obviously, if I'd have had a returning spells, which I didn't draw as much of, that would be better. So let's see what he wants to do with sideboarding. That was the first game. Again, very, very close one then. I really thought I was going to lose that. It was a the key thing there, I think, was obviously having the flyers, but it was primarily because I had the blue mana to lock up the trample when it was getting big. Obviously, if I had had a royal spout something or even a clutch temporarily just to send it back to hand. I did make a misplay there, but fortunately I think it maybe didn't matter towards the end, but I wanted to cancel that first, and then of course it was tricky as well, because if I look back on the match, maybe there was an opportunity for me to hold the cancel back before the Radiant Flames wiped out the board, and that was a hard cancel. So we'll wait for Auunj to start again. I wasn't having much success. I will decide, I think, to probably go for my build that has more in the way of containment and also reprisal, which is the important thing. So I have a build of this deck which runs 3 suppression bonds and runs 2 reprisals. So I think for this next game I will make use of that sideboard option, because at least if I'm not drawing or if I'm being wiped out, I have a better chance to hold back. Gideon did the work. I think in some ways it was tricky because the Trampler with Gideon being out, and in fact when he attacked with him, that's an obvious opportunity for me to make a mistake, because I think if I'd have tried to block that to keep Gideon alive, I wouldn't have had the 6 power, which is enough for lethal. So it's always tricky in these matches. I know some of the other guys that put videos out do like to say very little. I probably talk too much in these videos, but that's my Scottish nature, as it were. So I'll be quiet for now and just hope, and if he doesn't give me an invite, I will try and invite back from him. So we just have to wait, because I guess he will be very much considering what he needs to do, how he needs to change his deck, if he thinks he can, in order to manage the I don't know what he thinks his biggest risk is. He obviously knows I'm now playing cancels. Unless he has a way to make his deck very much quicker than it's probably designed to be, that gets a bit difficult, because if I get early cancels I can stop some of his earlier plays. But of course I think he's, particularly with Nissa's renewal, he's hoping that he has enough to keep himself through the early to mid game, and then obviously he'd be very commanding in the latter stages of the game. I think he would find it, and in fact I really thought that I was up against it in that first match. So I'm going to try and send a request. He's still not come back, so I don't know if it's the build I'm looking at is this one, so at least I know that offhand. I will try and send a casual. I'll try and send an invite. I'll put a message up here. Not sure if you are sideboarding. My invites were not working. Okay, so he's invited me, so let me just cancel that. Oh, well, I've sent it to him now, so I don't know. Last time he had to send the invite, so at least if he gets the invite, he knows I'm waiting now. So if my connection or my invite doesn't work, if he sends again, hopefully we get the second game underway. And again, this is I'm not sure. I'll need to maybe try and investigate how to edit these recordings. I'm sure somebody in the forums can probably help us so that we can edit out some of the downtime and the wasted time waiting for the second matches. But probably initially I'll just put it out as it is, raw and dirty as it is, so hopefully there's enough good content with the matches, and I think particularly in this match it's a real game of cat and mouse, so I'm hoping that if we get to a third, yeah, he's cancelled it, so I think I just need to wait for his invite again. It wasn't working when I sent, so let's just wait for him to send the invite. As I say, we've been running this tournament since probably about the second to third week in January, so as I said, we're just over halfway through. The iOS and NGA does not have as many active players. I don't know if that says anything about the iOS user base in general, but most people would probably accept that certainly by Steam community in particular, and probably the Xbox community, are have more players overall. iOS used to have, certainly there used to be many players on Magic 2015, but because there have been known problems with the... Right, so let's get it started. I'll shut up for a bit. Let me just play this match for a bit in silence if I can, if that's possible for a Scotsman. We go for the second match. As I said, I made a change to this deck to add in more removal given the matchup that I'm facing. So if I get the right spells early enough, I could be going 2-0, which would be a surprise given that so I need to ship that one back, draw a new hand. This one is workable, I will keep it. I need to lead with the Prairie Stream untapped for the main purposes of it triggers the River Marshal with extra. Even will get through a Gate Creeper if he manages to get that out. So I'm recognising that I have to get the early. I've got my hard cancel as well, so where I'd spent quite a long time waiting for my second blue source, if I don't wait so long this time, it's going to be better, particularly because again I have double Warlord. So again, you need luck with this game, and you know, luck was beneath me for some of the matches I've had, but in other matches I've had quite poor luck. I didn't have very good luck against Covert Go Blue in general, or maybe that's just me making excuses for the fact that I may have misplayed. I'm not going to use the clutch for now. I'll swing with a 3-2. He can block if he doesn't want that much damage going through, or he lets it go through. Yes, he's blocking, which I think is sensible. It's early damage, so he wants to try and avoid as much of the early damage as he can. So whatever he brings out, if he has another, he brings out red, an early Radiant Flames. I still don't have my second blue source, so I really want to try and get that early if I can. So then I'll just have to watch my timing and casting the cancel. But I'll be particularly looking out for Radiant Flames and trying to get rid of that. So let's see if I get my... No, but I do have a cancel the Wart now. He's got nothing out, so I can cancel anything he's going to cast. So this attacks for 5 damage. So if I get my second, I can stop that. He's not going to kill it. This is what his deck needs against this very fast red removal, because when he's playing red, he can get rid of stuff maybe faster than I can recover. But as I said, if I have my second blue source, I think this gets probably a difficult matchup for him. And here comes the Zendikar Incarnate, but again, that'll just get shipped back, and I'll get another 5 points of damage. So just give me my second blue source, or I can hold on to that. I'll use Reprisal. This shows you one of the reasons why I made the sideboard changes, because this is another 5 damage going through here. I think if I get to be honest with his deck, knowing what his deck is like, if I get my second blue source in the next few turns, I think that could spell the end of the match. I'm going to try and hold on to that cancel as much as I can. Here comes a Colossus, he'll just get shipped back. That's for another 5 damage. This is a problem here, so he is getting a lot of land for ramp, but I'm able to ship. Now there's my second blue source, so I think for now I'm going to play that to send him back, and I think it's game now, I think. Yeah, because I can send one of those even if he has burn. Well, Radiant Flames would do it, but and I don't. Of course, I don't have my cancel open, but I can rebuild with the Whirler Rogue and be able to get 3 points of damage through, I think. Okay, here comes the renewal. He needs it, of course. Otherwise, he is in pretty bad shape. So that puts him up to 10 health again, but still a 2-turn clock, particularly when I bring this second Topan out. I'm just happy now to do damage while I can. That's 6 going through, 4 damage to do. I can bring the rogue out, or I can tap obviously with the 3-2. So here comes Rolling Thunder. He's Rolling Thundering for 8. And I'll come out with be nice to get, no, that's Royal's Retribution, which is another sideboard change in this deck. So let's see what he makes of that. I can have another follow-up, so if he brings something out for blocking, I'll just send the 2-2 through unblockable. He's really got to wipe all of this, and then of course I have a follow-up, and I also have this Royal, so depending what he brings out, I can probably use this. Do I need to? No, I'll just make it unblockable, I think. Now it's got From Beyond, so that you can see that Ulamog's threatening to come out. I'm sure he's got the mana for it. Oh, he's got that, but as I said, I'm sending through unblockable, and that's the issue. So I'm going to hold the counter open, so this just becomes a tap to untapped. So I obviously want to send him through, and I tap these two. That's 2 damage going through. He could have another renewal, but he's top decking at the minute, so actually I think I'm obviously worried about Radiant Flames, but then what I do is, for insurance, if I bring the Freeblade out just as a blocker, yeah, so he needs to wipe all that, but then again I'll rebuild. I've let the counter down, which may have been a mistake, but he must have Ulamog surely. No, he's got Rolling Thunder. So that's Rolling Thunder for 10. Blows all those guys away. He swings for 6. Depends what I get out next, really. This is probably his game, I think. I'm not sure I played that properly. I probably should have held the counter open. Yeah, tricky to know. I obviously have to play this out. Just gets me some dudes on the board. I just have to do 2 damage, so I don't know. He needs, is he lucky enough to have another, the 12/12, does it have, it can't be blocked by more than 1 creature, so that's fine. So I can use the 2/1/1s. He's still got, yeah, I've got the mana I think to kill, this might still work because I've got the mana to kill the Gatekeeper and send the 2/2 through, and I've got the 2/1/1s to block the 12/12, which is obviously lethal at this point in time. So he's obviously waiting for me to continue. But then of course if this is Ulamog now, then there's no way back. Let's find out what it is. Ah, what a surprise, there's Ulamog. So he's gonna kill the board. So that's second game to him. Pretty sure I can block that anyway. Can't be blocked by more than, oh no, it says it can't be blocked more, so I mean I can use this boy, but it's a pity that Royal's Retribution can't deal the damage to him, but that's just the way it goes. Yeah, so that's game. I'll give him that. So that's 1 each. Okay, so we'll wait for this last and final matchup. I'm not really sure about the side. It seemed to be working well, but of course I didn't get any of the creatures to tie stuff down. So given to give myself a chance, I'll probably return to the original build and just hope. If I'd had, it's difficult to say, I don't know, or maybe I stick with that build because I get the removal when I need it. There isn't anything I can do in my deck to add new cancels in, because there's a limited number of cancels in the game. Well, I do have a build which has a few more cancels, but it just slows the deck down a bit. So it's decision times for the from the sideboard point of view. I had a similar thing with DJ actually. I sideboarded for DJ, lost the second match, and then returned to my original deck because I'd won. So I think I will maybe try that and see if that brings me the same luck that I did against DJ. This is a tough matchup, particularly with the wipeouts. The Radiant Flames. I need to play this back because I think there are certain points early in that game where I could have maybe held back or had to cancel to negate the Radiant Flames, but he had luck there, I think, as well in the draw when he was like top decking and that. So, um, and of course he waited quite a long time for his From Beyond. So obviously once he had From Beyond in the board and he's ramped up by then. He's obviously relied. Nissa's Renewal is pretty key in that deck. Um, it's interesting in the tournament. I have a similar type of deck which runs, ramp, moss, the full works. It wasn't a type of deck I really wanted to try and play in this tournament. I wanted something that was different from the standard try harder tier 1 type stuff. So as I said, until we've gone through those matchups, this is the first time I'm facing it. So it's good to have come away with one game, if that's all it is. So at least it gives me some additional points. I just wanted to get points out of this, as I've done fairly well up to now to keep me in the running. Of course, I'd like to try for the 2 and 1, but I think I'm going to have luck. But that starts with me going back to the original deck and the luck that brought. And again, the advantage of that deck over the one that I just ran there was it does have the more in the way of bounce spells. So here goes for the third game. I think whatever happens, this has been quite a good matchup. It's been some pretty good games. I think I could have had the right luck at the right time, but Radiant Flames coming out was just the death knell. So let us go back to the original deck and see how it goes. It'd be nice to draw Gideon early enough to get pressure, because Gideon just becomes pretty useful with early in the game for blowing things away or just putting damage through. He came out towards the end, I think the second or the first or second game, I lose track. Okay, so here we go, third match of this round 6 match. Now I need to put that back. I've got rogues, I'm going to keep it, but this is not optimal by any means. Maybe getting Jace out might help, so I'll get me to draw cards so I can get the right stuff at the right time. Jari Offshoot was exactly not the sort of card I wanted to see. I'd be interested to know if that was a sideboard change, because that obviously prevents my ability to do early damage, which is pretty important for this deck. I'm also in a 2-lander, so it'll just be luck that I suffer the Auunj Jesus curse and don't get my land drops when I need them. He's obviously he now has 2 blockers up, which is fine. There's no point in attacking with the 2/2 because the 0/3 can just block it. He's obviously gaining health all the while, so I think yeah, there's a surprise for you that I don't get. At least Chase gives me a chance to try and draw what I need. The Archangel can be useful, but she's pretty dangerous sitting at 3 mana, so when you're relying on her, it's not ideal. And he's ramping away there quite happily in the background with me doing no damage at all, so I really think this is going to go to Auunj. I can't really see, unless I start getting luck draw after draw after draw, I just don't see things going my way. Let's see if I can try and at least find another land. I do. So what do I ship back? Probably the Angel, to be honest. Just too expensive for that type of mana. At least I have the opportunity with him coming out in the next turn to try and blow some of his so Jace actually might be the card that gets me there actually, interestingly. It's still not great that he's ramping as much as he is, and of course I do have a counter up actually, so maybe I should rely on that and use that to my advantage just when he starts bringing anything sort of really seriously scary out. Let's see what we get. It's another land. Do I really need the land now? I'm better, I think, shipping that back, holding the counters up, and then this time is the attack to at least try and knock out some of the, at least one of the O2s. Seems happy to let that go through. No, I'm going to hold. That's a hard counter, so I think I have to just be very careful about the timing of using that. And there's another counter, so now let's just leave both of them up and just try and I can try and dig for Jace, which would be helpful. I've got a free blade. Oh, another rogue, so no. I'll ship the 3-blade back. That doesn't work, obviously. Scatter does though. I obviously try to take Jace out there, which I can understand because Jace allows me to draw, so I had no choice but to use the hard cancel there, because the soft cancel wouldn't have done. He's got too much mana and I can't stop that coming out. So yeah, it's not looking very good. I think this is already his game. I could get returns, of course. That would be helpful. So I'll just keep digging. See if I can dig for Jace. No. Let's just see if I can find. Mostly not getting any more land either, so well, there's land, but is it worth it? Probably not. Well, this will be semi-useful. I think he's got that much land up. I think I'll just put the rogues out. I mean, obviously Radiant Flames comes, but then he wants to put mana into Radiant Flames, so I think for now it's better for me to get some power up. I could do with another mana to bring out the flyer. We will see. I still think this is almost certainly his game though. Here comes Rolling Thunder, so yeah, didn't take long for that to come out. At least I know I can rebuild. Jace also keeps me in the running. He's not doing too much in the way of damage. I can rebuild, obviously. This is not enough to get the enough damage done though, that's the only issue. I would just like another land so I can at least get if I get a land a couple of turns in a row, it might start helping me to try and make some headway in this match, but or in this particular game, but I'm up against it really as here, I think. Now here comes, that's the last thing I needed really. Moss. And the second one. Well, he's going to go 2-1 for sure, but I did get the one game out, which I think with the ramp decks was always going to be the case, I think. May as well block it. Prolong the agony. Let's just see how long it takes me to get some mana. Okay, here we go. That'll do. Let's make him work for it. He's got the thunder which he can cast for enough, I think. Yeah. He will cast that for enough, so this is just a matter of time, but I'll let him finish it though. We may be looking at the winning deck in the tournament, but mind you, no, it's a covert. I'm trying to think it wasn't. It was covert go blue that went 0-3 against. No, 2-1. I think he went. Okay, let's do this again. We're not getting any land. What a shame. Let's just drag it out. I mean, even if I got my blue source back, at least I could start ship stuff back, but that gets difficult as well because of course I don't want to put the 5-4 back and get him to recast it and bring flames back again, but he's got flames in his hand, so it's just a case of when he decides to cast it. And there isn't really anything I think that I can bring out that's going to make things any different as a foregone conclusion. He's got flames, which strategy I'll use just to get rid of one of these guys. He'll swing with both, I can block, I guess. If he swings for 8, is he going to swing for 8? No, he's just swinging with 1. No, he's swinging, yeah, he's swinging for 8. Yeah, well, let's try and keep Chase around for a bit longer. One of the issues he has with the cards he's bringing out is they're not cards you really want to ship back. Well, Jace is going to go this time, so there's nothing in the grave. I can cast an instant or sorcery card from the graveyard this turn. So, what do I have in my graveyard? Nothing that's gonna work. So, I'll just make it obvious. Yeah, no, that's conceding defeat. This is Pilgrimages as if he needs it. Okay, yeah, here it comes. Rolling Thunder for 11. Just going back to my sideboard change, probably in reality it would have been better to have kept the sideboarded build, but of course I didn't really do that much in the second game, so going back to the first game and obviously trying to get, but I just wasn't lucky there. It was a bit like Covert Gold Blue, him getting the early blockers out, and particularly the Jaddy offshoot, really just puts the finisher on that on this particular type of deck. Anyway, that was decent match. I think the first game in particular was good with its to and fro. As I said, it wasn't looking as if I was going to get through the first match, but it was good to get one in, so that gives me 2 points. I really didn't want to go another 0 and 3. Yeah, I'm happy to pick up the 2 points and just on to the next match. Hopefully I'll arrange the round 5 match. As I say, this is actually a round 6 match, but it's just because Auunj contacted me fairly early, seeing that he had me down, to try and arrange a matchup. Thanks for watching, guys, and look out for the next match coming up. Thank you. Bye.